Hello again! I decided to make this video because I found a very nice surprise. Some random guy decided to post my video on the Lost Ark Reddit. Not only that, my guy was posting the video on Asmongold's Reddit. My man. Sadly, the mods deleted the post. Aww. I even tried to create a Reddit account so that I could thank the guy, but it would not let me post. So anyway, thank you very much, you absolute stranger. I think now I understand why the video did so good. And well, reading the comments on that post, I found some people interested in what I think about the changes that are coming with Tier 4, and my opinions about the solo raids, the improvements to elixirs, and all that. I also saw some comments on the video I made from people that were not very happy about what I said, so I thought I could do a video talking about these things. First, let's talk about some counterpoints that I saw here and there. The first and funniest one that I've seen is the idea that the game is made for a hardcore audience, and if you don't like hard games, you should not play Lost Ark. I think this is a little bit disingenuous. Because when people say this, they immediately show me that one, they think that everybody is a filthy casual that have never played difficult games before, and two, that they don't really understand what is difficulty from a design perspective. If difficult games were so disencouraging for the general public, how is it that games like Elden Ring are so massively popular? I think that in the end, these type of comments come from people who want to label themselves as part of the illustrious hardcore community, even if that means alienating the rest of the community. And the thing is that you don't need to have this attitude to enjoy hardcore content in a friendly way. Such is the case with Ergus, a South American streamer that has dedicated himself almost exclusively to doing Hell mode. Believe me when I say that I don't know anyone more patient and understanding while being so competent at this game than him. He is always willing to teach people how to get their titles. I really commend this guy. One of the things that I've realized, especially talking to people that are avid fans of any game, is that when you criticize a game, it doesn't come off as you making an observation about a game design that has nothing to do with the person. But people still take it as a personal attack to whoever is playing that game. Imagine how difficult it is to avoid this reaction, that even Josh Strife himself had problems making a review for Final Fantasy XIV, an MMO with what is believed to be the most positive community of the current market.
When I make a video on a game, people don't understand that I'm not critiquing their life choices. I'm critiquing a product made by a company designed to create money. But people think I'm critiquing their life choices. And if I say, hey, you like this game and it's bad, what they hear is, you made the wrong life choice.
Yep,
And that's much more emotional.
And I'm not gonna lie, I think that I've been feeling like that for quite some time now. I mean, I couldn't care less about what you decide to do with your time. You have every right in the world to do whatever you want. But being able to thrive in Lost Ark does not invalidate that the game has a lot of problems. I feel like people who are still playing Lost Ark have this huge survivalship bias. In a way, they have gone through hundreds of trials and tribulations to be where they are today. It is perfectly understandable that they are still playing, especially if they still enjoy the game. Other people have said that it is simply a matter of perspective, that it is not necessary to play with so many characters, and that if you take it easy, you can enjoy the game. I think I can easily agree with this comment. In fact, I even made a video about it some time ago. The idea of having a healthy roster is to have a roster with an amount and type of characters that will allow you to enjoy the game. The problem is that the quote-unquote culture of the game has been developing from much earlier, before people realized how difficult it is to push so many characters to a high level. It's like people learned to play Lost Ark in a particular way, and then it was really hard to change that habit of gameplay. The other thing is, even if you take all the time in the world, doing just enough to have your character geared, you will still find extremely high, unrealistic expectations from the current state of the lobby simulator, and taking it easy might be the thing that ends up getting you gatekept. Trying to escape from that vicious circle is also very complicated, because since there are almost no people that want to take it easy, it is very difficult to find progress lobbies for the content that has already been around for some time in the game. Everybody assumes that after the first few weeks, everybody should be clear. Which reminds me, let's talk about the changes that have been made and that will be made. Let me tell you that sadly, I don't think there's anything that could change the situation of the game. And I'm not saying this simply to be cynical, it's just that the changes are not addressing the root problem of the game. I'm not going to pretend that the option to choose an effect of the elixirs and that solo raids are not a positive change. I think many people needed to have some way to generate gold and to do the low-level raids. And there's many people that enjoy the game in this solitary format, so it has been a great addition. But I also feel like there's people just yelling like, "Wah! Elixirs are fixed!" just because you can choose one effect, when the worst part of the RNG in that system happens during the transmutation phase, when you actually have to cut the elixir, and not during the effect selection phase. Again, is it a positive change? Yes, absolutely. But it seems to me that people are giving Smilegate way too much credit on their benevolence for such a small change. Another thing is that, although the solo raids are super welcomed, I think that Smilegate will make sure that they are never part of the current content. The only reason why they did the solo raids up until Bolas was so that people could get their elixirs and more or less prepare the player base for when Tier 4 comes out. Even still, I think that moment when you want to go from solo raids to group raids is going to be horrible. I mean, the best case scenario would be that enough people are coming out of the cycle of solo raids so that they can start making groups among themselves. Lastly, I do think that even though these are good changes, don't you think that they are like rather irrelevant? Like, once Tier 4 comes out, it would seem that those parts of the content might not have that much impact compared to the content and the systems that are coming in the future. If you ask me, it seems to me that all these things are like placebos to maintain the players interested while they work on the launch of Tier 4. Another point that I want to mention is that I think that people lose sight of the conversation whenever you criticize the game's problems. The problem in Lost Ark is not the elixirs, it's not the gatekeeping or the FOMO. The problem with Lost Ark is its core design. If I had to describe it in general terms, the end goal of Lost Ark is to create tension. Tension between the players, tension between the players and the systems, tension between the players and the environment, etc. The more friction the player finds, the better. Because it is that tension, the very foundation of the game's monetization. Smilegate simply has to be careful not to overdo it, otherwise players might end up leaving. But they are always looking for ways to push the limits of what the players are willing to accept. The fact is that I really doubt that this approach will change for Tier 4, and that is why I don't think that everything else in the game might change much either. The elixirs, Transcendence, stones, gear quality, these are all iterations of the same design route. They are not the problem itself, and to think that just because elixirs got a small change or that the novelty that Tier 4 will bring is going to change things in the future, I think that's a bit naive, to be honest. Also, like, does it really matter that they change these systems after they've been around for some time? Because if you think about it, in some way, they have already fulfilled their purpose, which is, again, to create tension. If there was people paying to access the content more easily when it was the endgame, then mission accomplished. Smilegate already has your money. I don't know, I think it is important not to lose sight of that. That said, I think that the people that want to continue playing Lost Ark should have every right to indulge in it as much as they want. And the arrival of Tier 4 is going to be quite refreshing for veterans, and will probably attract a lot of new players too. That is perfectly fine. Now, I think that for me, it is much easier to find problems than to think on solutions. In regards to Lost Ark, I think there are not many alternatives. The first thing I think of is that Amazon should be much more insisting and proactive with the game's publishing. I feel like, for example, China had a version of the game that was exponentially more friendly than what we had in the West, and we were probably like guinea pigs to make sure that they had a better version for China. If Amazon doesn't take a more active stand in the localization of the game, I really doubt that it will become more friendly for its community in general, let alone for new players. And, well, with the exception of that Discord where they are supposedly taking feedback to send it to Smilegate, I haven't seen much interest from Amazon to do something about all of this. So let's just say that I don't really have a lot of hope on this option. The other option is to have the community acknowledge that they are not in the best place, and to start like a campaign to improve the experience of the game for everybody. But I mean, this is never going to happen. And it's not fair to expect something like this to happen anyway. I mean, I think it is not a reasonable expectation to have the players be like a fucking human resources department or something. People come here to be entertained. Having to manage a group of people is always really exhausting, especially if you don't have the social tools to do so. And it is something that a lot of people probably already do in their daily lives. So, even though I think that playing MMOs requires some degree of etiquette, same as many shared activities, I don't think it is fair that the players have to take all the responsibility of managing the state of the community. Aren't companies supposed to have like community managers or like quality assurance or something? To me, seeing the community finding a way to get along better would be super positive. But let's just say that gamers are not a demographic from which you should expect much. But oh well. To conclude, I don't think the current situation in Lost Ark is going to change much until there is a true, deep intervention from someone. In the near future, I think that the best thing people that are still playing Lost Ark can do is gather hype for Tier 4 and wait for the best. Me, to be honest, I've already uninstalled the game. So yeah, to those that are still playing Lost Ark, I wish you the best of luck. I am currently searching for new horizons, which is why I haven't really streamed lately. However, I am very likely to be playing the next WoW expansion. I will be playing War Within from Monday the 26th, which is the release date for those who have common sense. So, yeah, as always, my name is Sun, and until next time.